What's up, guys? Jeff here with Lift to Thrive, and this is Road to the 1700 Total, week 3, with 3 weeks to go. So, a bit of an interesting week. The screen went out for the main other phone that I use for recording videos, so I don't have access to some of the videos from my lifts earlier this week. So what you can see here is a lot of deadlifts, because that's what I was able to catch at the end of the week. But overall, the week was pretty solid, so I'll walk and talk you through a lot of the lifts from earlier this week. So to start off, last week was the first week back from a bit of a deload, and I was still being a little bit conservative with some recovery. But this most recent week, things went pretty smoothly. Recovery was feeling pretty solid, so we started off the week pretty strong with some squats, worked up to 575, which is going to be right around my opener, and it moved pretty smoothly. And then we were able to collect a little bit more repetition work with some of my back offs. So for 535, we were able to get it for a nice double, and for 500, able to get it for a smooth 3. This upcoming week, we're going to bump up to a little bit more weight on the first back off set. Instead of 535, we'll go 545, and then we're going to keep the 500 and see if we can collect a bit more volume. But this went pretty smoothly. I was happy with it. The 575 moved smoother than the 555 did the week before, which is always a good thing, that you can lift more weight and it feel easier, especially as you peak for a powerlifting competition. So that went smoothly, and then moved on to some more snatch primers and really just maintaining around 70% there. Just trying to keep the snatch feeling familiar, but not adding too much additional stress as I prioritize this powerlifting meet. A nice reminder, while I do have a powerlifting meet in a few weeks, I do have a weightlifting meet 4 weeks after that. So my goal with the weightlifting movements is to maintain mobility, maintain a little bit of technique, definitely maintaining strength and muscle in those areas, and then not add too much fatigue that causes anything to get irritated before the powerlifting meet. After those snatch primers, moved on to some clean and jerk primers, really enjoying these tall cleans, pause split jerks, and a little bit of a light hang clean jerk to follow it. And I'm actually doing that in one complex, so it'll be, as you see here, like 2 tall cleans, 2 pause split jerks, 1 hang clean and jerk. Then I'll add a little bit of weight, same thing, 2 tall cleans, 2 pause split jerks, 1 hang clean and jerk, and then I get a bit heavier, down to 1 rep, 1 tall clean, 1 pause split jerk, 1 hang clean and jerk, and then dropping the first 2 movements for the last one and just doing a hang clean and jerk. So that's been working well, and that allows me to maintain some good technical attributes for the clean and jerk while not adding too much stress to my knees, lower body, to the rest of the body. So from there, moved on to day 2, and it was a bench and pause deadlift day. So bench went extremely well this week, built up to 404 for 2, and then 418 for a single, and then just went a little bit more conservative with the back offs this week, just pushing that top end work, collecting good back off work, but keeping a little bit in the tank. I think I'm pretty much done with going for new rep maxes right now when it comes to the bench, and I'm just trying to maintain that top end intensity without really pushing for much more in the 3 to 5 rep range if it happens, but I'm not trying for a new 3 rep max or 4 rep max or 5 rep max. I'm prioritizing singles, doubles, and how long I'm pausing, which is important leading into the competition, because I want to make sure that I can hit some good numbers with the commands. After competition bench, moved on to some pause sumo deadlift, and really just this day is all about the hook grip. I'm not using any straps with my light pause deadlift day, and so we built up to 572 for a pause single, and it moved well. This is going to be my last warm-up weight, 572, so I really want to make sure that my last warm-up and my opener, I feel confident with my hook grip. Obviously, I'd like to hit my top end weight with the hook grip when it comes to the competition, but I want to make sure that I can hit my openers more importantly. Last thing I want to do is go into the meet and bomb out because I can't hold on to any of my deadlifts, so I really want to make sure I can confidently get all my warm-ups and my opener, and then shoot for the moon from there and see what we got. And I've been cutting back a little bit on some of the accessories, and sometimes I'll do them, sometimes I won't, but it really just depends on energy, because I want to prioritize recovery for the big lifts. From there, it was day 3 and a bit more competition bench. So like I said, really prioritizing the pause and the top end work, like the singles and the doubles. So warmed up, made a nice jump from 375 to 415. Super happy with it. Paused it really well. It moved smoothly. That's a pretty decent jump for me. Probably the biggest jump I've done in that intensity range, jumping from 375 to 415. And then originally I was going to do a back off triple and a back off set of 4. But like I said, I'm switched the priority a little bit to just be focusing on really nice pauses, and then wherever I end up with that load, I end up. So instead of doing 3 at 390, I just did 2 really good pauses, and instead of doing 4 at 380, I did 3 really good pauses. And so if I can actually end up matching my 2 rep max and 3 rep max in the next couple weeks, but with longer pauses, more control, that's going to do way more for me for the actual powerlifting competition. Then we did some relatively light pause front squats. They're technically above my 65% threshold, but they were moving really well. Happy with the positioning, so I just went for it. And then did a bit of accessories with some weighted pull-ups, lateral raises, curls, and some hamstring curls. Like I said, I'm still hitting some of my accessories. I'm just not making it a priority. From there, it was a rest day, and then we hit our day 4. And honestly, this one was super chill. I actually didn't have much time this day, was feeling pretty fatigued overall, so I didn't get any snatch or clean and jerk work and just prioritized the high bar back squat. I threw my belt on for the first time for high bar squats in at least 6 months, honestly. So I threw the belt on recently with the low bar squat, but I haven't been doing it for any front squat or high bar squat work. But I decided to throw it on here because I'm peaking for this powerlifting competition, and I wanted to see where my belted high bar squat would be, honestly. So worked up to 500 for a single and was pretty happy with it, and then did a very conservative double at 440. These are both beating what I've done in my training block. They're not lifetime best with or without a belt, so they're in a decent spot, but I would like my high bar squat to climb a little bit more if I can. Even if I don't hit more on it before the powerlifting competition, I want to be capable of a bit more. So my best high bar squat is 540 pounds. So if I'm capable of 530 to 540, even if I don't actually hit it, that means quads are pretty close to the strongest they've been, and that puts me in a really good spot for the competition. I actually feel right now, strangely, that my low bar squat is a little bit more ahead of the game than my high bar squat in terms of the gap between them. The gap between them is a little larger than it normally is. My low bar squat feels right on par to be hitting all-time lifetime best at the competition, which is the goal. That's what I'm competing in. But my high bar squat doesn't feel like it's that close to my all-time best. So that means that my glutes, adductors, hip muscles, my core is at its all-time best, but my quads aren't quite at my all-time best. Now I know if my high bar squat can climb over the next couple weeks, getting my quads to being their all-time best, that's only going to help with the competition lift. So if I can get that to climb a little bit without sacrificing any recovery, that'll be the goal. So 500 for a single, 440 for 2, not bad, but if we can add another 20 to 40 pounds to that in the next few weeks, that'd be cool. Let's see what we got. 20 to 40 pounds is not an easy amount to add, but if the recovery's in the right spot, then it might be there. So we'll see. That was it for that day. Super short, easy day. Rested up the rest of the day. Came back for day 5, which is a big deadlift day. And it was actually supposed to be a deadlift and bench and some light squats and some accessories. All I did was deadlift that day. So that's kind of what happens as I lead into my competition, is I prioritize the big movements, I prioritize recovery, and if I need to drop an accessory here or there, or if I need to make some adjustments on the fly, then I'll do that. So all we did this day was some deadlifts, but was really happy with the result. Worked up with hook grip exclusively. My last warm-up of 573, which I had talked about earlier in the week when I did for a pause, I was able to do it for a really smooth rep, and then my opener is going to be about 606. I was able to get up to this 608 pounds here, and wasn't super easy, but the grip held up, and I was really happy with it. From there, I just wanted to make another reasonable jump, but nothing too crazy. And based on my previous jumps, 640 was a solid attempt. 640 is about what I'm hoping for my second attempt. I want to make sure I'm getting good stimulus in to hit this, but most importantly is I'm going to have the hook grip be there on competition day. So I'm not sure if I'll pull more 640 with hook grip before the competition, but most importantly, I just want to be building my confidence in that opener and confidence in the consistency with it, so that the opener is there no matter what come competition day. Now, if I can get my opener to be there, obviously I'd like the rest of it to be there, but at least I'm not going to bomb out, and so that'll put me in a decent spot. If I try to make sure that I can hit 640 with hook grip in training before the competition, I might push for something that's not best to push for that day. When it comes to the hook grip, if it fails, it's entirely possible it's going to fail because the skin tears, and if the skin tears 2 or 3 weeks out, then it might not heal up enough in time for me to compete with it. So I want to prioritize consistency with it, making sure I'm getting that 600 to 608 range consistently in training, making sure all my warm-ups are good, and really just feeling confident that I can hook, set it, and lift. And if I can focus on my setup speed with it and still feel confident, then that's all the things I need to make sure that I have the highest chance of hitting 640 and beyond at the competition. I don't need to make sure that I hit 640 or more in training with hook grip beforehand, but if it comes, we shall see. After that 640 with straps here, went for a new 2-rep max, 628 for 2, and it moved pretty smooth. Not easy by any means, but the last time I went for a 2-rep max was 625, and that's been a while since I've attempted it. So it's cool. I'm hitting some lifetime PRs right now with the deadlift, and that's set me up pretty well for the competition. Just got to make sure grip is dialed in beforehand, and we should be good to go. So that was week 3 of the road to 1700 total. 3 more weeks to go, and things are moving in the right direction. So should have more videos for you next week because I'll just be filming on this phone. So stay tuned, and let's keep building some momentum.